Emergency request. Facility Crucible requires vital materials to sustain the mission. Transmitting coordinates on Charybdis III. End of message.
This is intriguing. A rather large amount of security for such a small place.
Human of unknown origin detected. Designated outsider. This is an undisclosed secret location. Please identify purpose or depart. Outsider is not part of plan. End of inquiry. Acknowledging receipt of emergency request. Explanation deemed acceptable. Clearance granted to Crucible. Outsider will deliver 150 units of copper. Compensation will be dispensed.
Tobias, stand down. We have a visitor.
Reminder, deliver required material. End of conversation.
This is incredible. For so long we hoped for any visit, and the day has finally arrived. Oh dear, that's a surprisingly tricky question. I'm probably not the person to answer it, but it is a genuine pleasure to meet you. We see no one, ever. Your arrival is truly an historic one, but many fear what it portends. The societies have closed their doors and are arguing about what to do, while the rest hide to see which way the wind blows. Franklin would know what to do. He's the oldest among us. You should talk with him. Most of us are like me, free and unaligned. But there are three societies that are oft at odds with one another. The Believers, the Pragmatists, and the Renegades. It would be wise to meet each of them. Franklin leads the Pragmatists. Crucible is a tinderbox, and any spark will set it off. We're still recovering from a deadly conflict that happened 3 years ago. Far fewer of us are here to greet you today because of it. Give it time, and I'm sure the others will come out. For curiosity's sake, if nothing else.
When your ship landed, I feared the robots would shoot you on sight. I am greatly relieved that they let you enter our community. But you come during a delicate time. Everyone will seek to use your arrival to further their own ends. You ask a question you already know the answer to. Yes, of course. I have need of you. But if you have a good heart and a quick mind, I am sure you will see my point of view. No, we most certainly do not.
'Cause 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 'cause
Our relationship with them is a matter of some debate. Where to begin? Maybe an introduction? I am Franklin Delano Roosevelt, leader of the Pragmatist Society. Well, it is gratifying that even after all these years, my name isn't entirely forgotten. You see, I was an American president. Well, not literally, but in a sense I was. Everyone that lives here are clones. Some of us are clones of the greatest figures of history, and others, well, we don't rightly know. When we die, and some of us die quite often, we are brought back. I cannot imagine how strange this must sound to an outsider. Is it? I wish I could illuminate you on this. But we are as ignorant of the technology which brought us into being as we are of the outside world. Not at all. I have had occasion to see death more than anyone. When someone dies, all they have accomplished here in Crucible, all of their deeds, thoughts, are gone. And when they come back, they are different, modified. The believers say they are improved. Being reborn can take years, sometimes over a decade. But everyone comes back. Now there is the question, isn't it? I do not have FDR's memories, but I know every nuance of his life and times. Well, as much as history records. I confess, I feel an undeniable affinity towards him. But no, I am my own man, but not all of us see it that way. I could see how confusing this may be, even frustrating. But if it's any consolation, many of us feel the same, and we live here. After decades, centuries, of trying to figure it out ourselves, there is so very much we don't know either. The robots clone us for a reason, their so-called mission. But what that is, and what we should do about it, is something the societies disagree about, sometimes violently. It's best you meet with the other societies, and after, I promise I'll explain the Pragmatists' position on matters. Well, it is one of the few concrete things we know about Crucible. If you want to truly know about the mission, the believers will tell you all about it. In fact, it can be hard to get them to stop talking about it. After you meet with them, I'll share my position. Be careful what you wish for. Word has been sent, so the street should be full again. There is more I would talk with you about, but I would not take advantage of your ignorance. Go speak with the Monerinas and Genghis Khan.
Welcome to town, stranger. consider me part of the welcoming committee. The name's Wyatt Earp, and I'd be most pleased if you'd use one of the spare rooms during your stay. For a modest fee, of course. You and me both there. I do the best I can to uphold the law, but the societies make that difficult. I expect I've had as much success restraining Genghis as the Chinese did. I do what I can. Roosevelt and I are both of the same mind on that. I'm for whatever side wants to keep the peace. It means that the Pragmatists and I are often on the same side of things, but you might be surprised the number of times I've had to ask some of them to back off some nonsense. That's a generous offer. I might take you up on it. Well, I hope you enjoy your stay. And by the by, I may have access to some essentials I've picked up over the years. Happy to sell them to you. It runs hot and cold. During usual times, it's an occasional scuffle, maybe a black eye when an argument gets out of hand. And then a society goes on a rampage and it's tombstone all over. I hope your arrival keeps things on an even keel. Hopefully you take fancy to something. I'm hoping you come back for some repeat business.
I need to go out there. I want to see and do everything.
I had hoped you would visit me. Good. Know that you stand before Queen Amanirinas of the Kush. Queen of a dead kingdom on a dead world. But I earned my name, and even the sands of time cannot take it from me. In truly ancient times, my land lay south of Egypt, a harsh country. History is enamored of my contemporary Cleopatra, but she would have withered and died had she tried to rule my land. Your courtesy is appreciated, even though it rings hollow. My subjects are all dust. If you don't believe me, know you are not alone. Some clones deride me behind my back. I know this. But I feel in my bones that I am a Manirinas for true. The great and the terrible to those who would oppose me. I remember things no one has told me. Memories of faces, betrayers, lovers, allies, and enemies. And the smells. The right scent. And I close my eyes. And I can picture all of it. So vividly. It aches my heart. My home. My kingdom. Have you no faith of your own? Something you hold to, even though it cannot be proven. It is the same with me. But I am certain. You speak to a Manirinas, reborn. If your mind and heart remain open, you will see the truth of it. Once, I called upon mighty armies, However, on Crucible I still lead. Have you heard of the Believers? Have you heard of the mission? We are the ones who will take our rightful place in these settled systems, to bring in a new, glorious age, and break the endless cycles of oppression and greed. You are skeptical. My advisors thought the same when Augustus Caesar stood unbeatable at Kush's border. I made war against the mighty Romans. I took their cities and fought them to a draw. No other king or queen can boast of that honor against that famed Roman. And that's just me. Some of the greatest lions of all ages are awaiting rebirth. What are bureaucrats, petty politicians, and lawyers against that? So many scoff at the mission. Before we are reborn here, there are words all of us are told. That we are the chosen. We are meant to better ourselves, to learn, grow, and thrive. All of us represent the greatest figures in our history. Who better to lead the settled systems to a new golden age? If we could do it ourselves, we would have, years ago. I do not care if you think my plan is insane. But what I want, what we want, is a chance to prove to the facility we are ready. When someone has achieved their potential, the facility is supposed to set us free among the stars. But the machines have been breaking more and more over the years, and no one has ever been deemed worthy. I need your help to properly fix the facility so that we can prove ourselves and claim our birthright. The facility is another place on this very planet. A place we cannot go, as much as we dream of it. Surely someone, anyone by now would have learned the lessons the facility sought to teach. No, the machines have not aged well. The crises break upon our beach, each one greater than the last. I need you to go to the facility. The robots and what drives them is not here. The facility is where they come from. Somewhere far to the east. None of us can travel there. But you can. Go there, please. And see if the facility can be repaired. Then report back to me.
Stranger! Weapons out! They come! There will be blood!
Hey, be careful not to point at them.
I have seen a great many things in the settled systems. More than most. And right now, words fail me.
The man from the stars. Come to see me. And you're not afraid to get your hands dirty. I guess the world out there is not so different than here. Genghis Khan, a pleasure to meet you. Then don't believe it. It is true his blood runs through my veins. But I am not he. Crucible tries to imprint the clones with fake memories. Genghis predated the Mongols having written records. For being so great a figure, we know practically nothing about him. When was he born? How he died? Where he was buried? A single speech he gave? Nothing. It must have driven the robots mad, trying to figure out what to do with me. My namesake, yes, a terrible, terrible person. But me, I'm really just a lowly prisoner, stuck on this pitiful planet. I am pleased that the dangers out here are of no concern to you. You cannot be fully human if you trap yourself behind walls. I would provide fresh meat for my society, so we don't get fat off the robots. Franklin and I see eye to eye on very little, but even he appreciates this. And I always hope to see some means of escape. Perhaps our luck has finally changed. The robots taught me many things any Mongol would know. So, hunting game, even such as this, is little challenge to me. So Franklin told you of us. Oh, that we're clones? Some of us think that makes us special. That the deeds of our namesakes are somehow ours. But that is blind arrogance. We are just people. Same as you. Same as anyone. None at all. It is as if I were a student of his life and times from an early age. I know so much about him, but that doesn't mean I am him. I am me, and I am content with this. I never really thought about that. Surprising indeed. But all this talk gets us nowhere. Too many of the others grovel at the feet of the damned robots, trying to play their roles in a broken game. The Renegades will not submit, and one day, we will be free. I do not know. Everything outside of Crucible is unknown to us. I imagine the settled systems are not so settled that a man who does not shrink from violence can't make a place for himself, though. A prison of the mind and the body. Crucible holds out a throne and says, "Obey, and it is yours." But thrones are meant to be taken, not handed to you by a machine. But it is a tantalizing lie that keeps the others in line. Were it that easy, I have died a dozen deaths trying to find a way out of Crucible. You get too far or disobey too much, then death. Crucible holds our lives in its hands. But now, the robots have made a grave mistake. You can go where none of us can. You hold our future in your hands, and all the societies know it. Oh yes, you can go 1 or 2 miles from Crucible, and you drop dead. I have no knowledge of medicine, but it's probably poison. It boils my blood to be subjugated like this, but too many of the clones are sheep. As long as their pens are clean and comfortable, they bleat their arguments. I sense fire in you. Good. You will need it. You know of the facility, yes? Go there and make the machines let us leave. It is not much to ask, and it will set us free.
So, you have heard from the other societies. I must confess I'm very curious what an outsider thought of them, and their positions. You might be the first objectively neutral party we've ever come across. A very diplomatic approach. The facility has gathered some of the most obstinate and dangerous personages throughout history. It has told them that they should lead in a golden age via whatever means they see appropriate. Setting us all loose and Parda as a whole would invite disaster. We are barely fit to lead ourselves. The most likely case is anyone that leaves Crucible would die or silently fail. But if the mission is correct, and they do take over the settled systems, in the course of history, it took millennia to cast out petty tyrants. The way ahead lies not looking to the past to literally guide us, but for this generation to learn from us. The terrible and great figures we represent had their time. We made the most of it. We should be at peace with it. A tough but fair question. I must admit the case of Amelia Earhart sometimes keeps me up at night. 'Tis safer if the rule is strict, but if you wanted to make an exception or two, I could live with that. But no one from the other societies. They are all dangerous in their own way. Exceptionally so, but the Pragmatists are different. It is evident that the facility is decaying. It is both unsustainable and unwise for us to fix and maintain the status quo. Our community must be weaned off the machines, learn how to build, grow, and govern ourselves. Allowed to raise families so we can pass our lessons to the next generation, and to die when our allotted time is finished. One day we will be worthy of going to the stars. We are just not there yet. Do not listen to passion. Genghis can be very persuasive, but he's a fool. In some sense, we are an abomination. A science project made for unknown ends and with uncertain results. Once we are fully human, fully self-reliant, then we should be allowed to join the settled systems. Yes, and not to be indelicate, not for lack of trying. Are we even human in this state? We have no future, only the past. You have no idea how profoundly grateful I am to hear that. Go to the facility and see what can be done.
Over here! We need to talk.
In my darkest hours, I feared that we were all that was left of humanity.
Hydrocarbons in abundance. Let us see how they have arranged themselves. Come then, meet your death. The facility seems to have new permanent residents. I doubt they will be interested in leaving. And once again, we are triumphant. It seems local fauna has been nesting here. Wherever you store that, the smell will not... I heard something. Do you think they have burrowed into the ground here? Or they originally came up out of it?
Bring it.
Is that for selling later or personal use?
Renegades will use any means to escape Crucible.
We are all prisoners. Just not all of us can see the bars. Without fail and without mercy, if we go too far, our lives end. Even the most devout believer drops like a stone a little over a mile out. I know this because we have tried it. Many look at Crucible like it is holy or a potential utopia. But the Renegades see it truly. It is hell, and it is our prison. We are the only ones that just want to tear it all down and leave. The mission, the facility, all of it are lies. We deserve a chance to really live. I have no doubt many of us will perish, or be swallowed up by the settled systems with little to show of it. But I just want the chance that every human is born with. You ask a question I cannot answer to your satisfaction. It is far to the east. It is where all the machines come from. Beyond that, mystery. Farewell.
The believers will win eventually. It's our destiny.
Change is coming.
Genghis and the Renegades will be the death of us, unless we stand firm. We are not 100% sure, but I have a theory. The facility has been unreliable as long as I've been alive. My guess is that they are historical figures that just didn't get a proper education. Who's to say what Julius Caesar actually looked like? Or some modern person of note that we wouldn't even know about? Whoever they are, though, they are as smart and capable as the ones that know their identity. My feelings about my namesake are complicated. He was a great but flawed human being. On one hand, he guided a country through the ravages of depression and war admirably. He tirelessly fought to improve the lives of the poor and disadvantaged. But as a husband, he was unfaithful, and as a colleague, he was a consummate politician, which is sometimes good, often distasteful. He was truly a great man, and I must confess, I am proud to share his heritage. We are unnaturally dependent on the machines of the facility for every aspect of our society. The Pragmatists seek to take the reins of power ourselves. We will cultivate, work, and govern for ourselves. Perhaps, once we have demonstrated that we can govern ourselves well, we can try and bring our leadership to the settled systems. But to do so too early, I fear, courts disaster. Goodbye.
Your arrival is a sign from the gods. There are robots here, but they are not constructed here. The clones also are not born here. The robots bring fresh clones always from the east. That is where their facility lies. And that's it. I know no more. We are the ones who believe in the mission. We are the great minds and leaders of history who can bring about a new golden age. Our numbers are admittedly few, but we make up for it in our commitment to see the dream of Crucible realized. We just want the machines fixed so we can pass the test and be allowed to leave Crucible and try to make a difference. I am her reborn. Many here scoff at reincarnation, but why? It has been a belief of people from the earliest of times. Why is it so unimaginable it can happen? When I dream, I smell the sands of Africa. I see the vaunted Roman legions with their prickly spear walls. And I see and taste the blood, both ours and theirs. I am Queen Amanirinas, and I am she who even the conquerors fear. Roosevelt and the Pragmatists vex us. True, they do help us try and maintain the facility. But they deny the mission. Such hubris. We were sent here for a reason. Why can't they see that? And Genghis and the Renegades are little more than brigands spoiling for a fight. They would destroy everything if it meant they could be unleashed on the galaxy. Clearly, none of them will ever reach their potential. What is this? These papers are fascinating. And frustrating. So many questions I have. But for now, we must find the security override code to open the rest of the facility. There isn't anything like that in Crucible. This I know. This other ship, the Beagle, this must have the key we seek. That is a relief to hear. So we just have to find it. Ada Lovelace stays out of politics, but the science here is too intoxicating. She will help us. If anyone can find this Beagle, it is her.
Non-resident detected.
So the facility was where...
As you wish, outsider.
So we did come from a spaceship. Of course we did. And there's another out there? What was the Beagle? Why did she and the Galathea part? But all of that in time. First, we must find her. She's not in this star system. I would have spotted her. I've studied the celestial bodies for years. No trace of a spaceship in orbit here or around the other planets. I should be thanking you for delivering such fascinating news. Now, about the Beagle, maybe the radio telescope. Yes, every morning it always defaults to the same position. I always wondered, why point at Bell 5? Petty frustration I've dealt with for years. Perhaps the facility looks for her sister. Yes, it makes sense. I can send you the coordinates. The Bell Star system is not far. The facility communicates via a secure frequency. When you arrive, tune into that.
Navigational feedback checks out. We're in the right place. Hey, Dad? Will... Will you read to me tonight before bed?
Read to you? Sure. I'd like that very much. You haven't asked me to do that in a long time.
And... will you do funny voices for the characters? Like you used to when I was little?
You just try and stop.
Well, you didn't put us into a planet, so we must...
Hey, what can I do for you? Anything I can help you with? Okay, no problem.
Approaching ship, you've entered Freestar Collective space. Maintain your current course while we scan for contraband. Alright, we're done. Have a good time in Neon.
Of the deep abyss. My ship is in tatters, all dented and worn, but I trust my old engine to get back by morn. Way out in the blackness, way out in the void, way get me back to my true love, as quick as an old asteroid. Always happy to meet a stranger. Hope my singing was to your liking. It is, at that. If you believe the family tales, we've been merchantmen and freighter captains since the days of the East India Company. If you like my singing, you should have heard my pops. Now he had a voice. Oh, and now you've made mine. Afraid my ship's got the next jump plotted in, so I'm away. Fair travels.
sensors have detected possible activity. Catastrophic damage. Damage. System failure.
The spoils of victory. Hopefully they amount to something.
Unable.
We certainly made sure to bring along plenty of robots.
Nearby. Alert. Sensors have detected anomaly. Catastrophic damage.
Clean sep there.
Outsider, this is Amani Rinas. Please, we have a dangerous situation developing on Crucible. I could use your assistance immediately.
Please, deadly trouble is brewing. Deal with it, and we can converse at length.
Good. You have come. Genghis Khan knows you have been to the facility. And unless we meet, he has said he will war upon us. I have asked Roosevelt to join our talks. In our last conflict, the Pragmatists were useful allies. Hopefully, they will fight with us again. Genghis does not negotiate. If you are unwilling to let him leave, there will be blood. But this is worth fighting for. The mission says that only the chosen should be freed. And I think Genghis is the least likely to merit that. If you control the facility, you control the mission. He has made it clear that unless the Renegades are allowed to leave Charybdis, he will fight. Know that we meet under a flag of truce. If any of us violate that, we are outcasts. So no matter the provocation, no battle. Let's go.
Good. I see the outsider is here.
Speak your words, Genghis. But know that I have no fear of battle, for my cause is just.
I know you've been to the facility. I know you have conspired together. Blood does not need to spill today, as long as the outsider promises one thing. Let the Renegades go free. I have no idea. I just don't know what's out there. But the Renegades will live, fully, and as well as we can. That is not good enough for me. Franklin, I know we have been at odds.
Over many, many incarnations.
But surely imagining the believers triumphing sets your blood to boil.
Genghis. The mission is pure fiction. Of this we can both agree. The best outcome of any of us leaving in our present state is to fail in obscurity. But if one of us succeeds, it would visit untold misery upon the settled systems. Stranger, can't you see why we're not ready to leave Charybdis yet? I had hoped to convince you. Alas.
If the mission even has a shred of a chance to be realized, can't you see, Roosevelt? We must take it.
Amonarinas, the Pragmatists will not fight today.
Coward!
As I was saying, I implore you, if the facility can give us more independence...
No. The mission must be allowed to continue as it is intended.
I sincerely hope you are right about all of this, Amonarinas, because this is our one chance at fixing it.
That went as expected. Are you ready to fight, outsider? Make no mistake. You are their target. They will not rest until you are dead. You may not want their blood, but they most certainly want yours. So let's end this.
You're mine!
triumphed, and you are the reason why. All that is left is to go to the facility and restore the mission. And our prayers go with you.
Blood runs in the streets again. I had hoped, however naively, that we were past that. I do not hold you responsible, but your arrival was certainly a lethal catalyst. May I help you? I maintain a steadfast neutrality. You must make your own determination. With frightening regularity, as bad as this was, 3 years ago the streets were full. Until Genghis Khan struck. We've a third of our number since that day. Fewer now. I believe your intentions are pure, but the stakes are ever so high. Perhaps I should have predicted all of this. So your mission to the Beagle was a success? Let me see. It is done. There is a standard cipher used by the facility. It took me many years and, well, lifetimes to overcome. And now, the mysteries of the facility await you. I pray you choose what befalls us wisely.
If you need to harvest any organic materials, now would be the time.
Fire. Repair not possible.
Victory!
Genghis and his blasphemies. Crucible will know peace now. You have handed me the keys to the kingdom. I promise, I will work tirelessly to see the mission realized. Know that you are always welcome here. May the sun always be at your back.
Arenus has won. I sincerely hope the mission is everything she hopes it is. It is true that I wish you had backed me, but I can understand why you sided with Arenus. As much as I disagree with the believers, Arenus' heart is in the right place. Who knows what changes may come, but I think Crucible at least will know peace. Goodbye.
So much to do. Being an admin is a great responsibility. I feel like my joy cannot contain my body. I know in my head the chance any of us will succeed is small. But now we have a chance. A real chance. And all because of you. Goodbye.